What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing well today. And to all my new supporters joining us for the first time, welcome to the family. I hope you all enjoy this video today just as much as myself, because this is one of them ones highly recommended. Highly recommended. So today, I will be reacting to 24 Canadian taboos, mistakes that I should not be making in Canada.
Things that you should avoid saying or doing when in my country. The first thing is, when you are talking with someone, there are certain topics that are best to avoid. Things that you shouldn't talk about with.
Yeah, okay. Avoid discussing religion, sex, politics, or money. Huh? Money? You guys don't really talk about your money. Well, yeah, keep that personal. Stop talking about your money issues and your money plans. Keep that personal. Okay. Okay, yeah.
Topics that are best to avoid. Things that you shouldn't talk about with people unless they are very, very close friends or family. These topics include things such as sex, religion, politics, and money. Those are topics that, in general, you don't usually talk about with people who you are not close to because it can easily cause arguments.
You think? Come over here to the United States of America. I'll show you different. You find people out in public openly talking about these things, man. Like it ain't nothing. Like I'm not walking past them. You can hear somebody talking about anything that's mentioned on this list. Religion, sex, politics, or money. Come on now. It's truly crazy. I'd be like, oh, these people are really comfortable. Like, you're out your shell, aren't you?
People who you are not close to, because it can easily cause arguments. However, as a Canadian, there's another thing that I would like to add to this list of taboo conversation topics.
All right.
And that is the fact that Canadians absolutely hate being compared to Americans. Please, when you are speaking with Canadians, do not compare Canada to the United States. Do not compare Canadians to Americans.
And there's no hope. The hope is lost. We still got Americans that believe that Canada is a part of our country, is a part of our states. We got some Americans that believe Canada is the 51st state until you tell them Canada is not within our states, pal. They are their own country. They be like, oh.
Please, when you are speaking with Canadians, do not compare Canada to the United States. Do not compare Canadians to Americans. That is something that the majority of Canadians absolutely hate. Also,
I know.
very taboo. Canada does not have Eskimos, and we also do not have Indians.
Or igloos.
These two words are actually very offensive and shouldn't be used. Instead, there are other good words that we can use to discuss these Aboriginal groups of people. The most common expression that we would use is First Nations people, because they were here first. When you meet somebody for the first time in Canada, it's very common to shake hands with that person. If someone reaches out to shake your hand and you don't shake their hand in return, it is considered extremely rude. Also,
now that's anywhere in the world. If you extend your hand out to someone, I'm expecting you to shake my hand. This is friendship. This is alliance right here. Agreement. Come on. What? You don't shake my hand. We ain't friends after that. Matter of fact, we got issues now. I'm going to confront you about that. See, there goes the American.
It is considered extremely rude. Also, when you first meet people, common questions such as, oh, what do you do, and things like that are appropriate. However, from my experience in different Asian countries, there is one specific question that you should not ask people in Canada, but that is very common in Asian countries that people will ask each other when they first meet. And that question is about your age. Asking somebody how old they are is considered extremely rude in Canada. If you're talking to a child, maybe it's fine because the child might be excited. I'm 10 years old. But once you become an adult like me, I find it rude if you ask me how old I am.
Well, what? This goes for all Canadians, males too? I've learned as a little kid, you don't ever ask a woman her age. That's very disrespectful. I've learned that at a very young age. I have yet to ask a female, how old are you? I don't even care if we go to school together and we're friends. I don't ask women their age. Okay, if I figure it out, I'll figure it out. If it comes across sometime, but no. This is for Canadian males and females? That's who she's referring to, not just females only? All right, that's something new. This is new. All right.
That's not a good question when meeting people in Canada. Another thing which I feel is common in most countries, but not all, is that when you are talking to someone, it is polite to make eye contact with them.
Always.
Please look them in the eyes. I find it uncomfortable if I'm talking to someone and they look away or look at their shoes, look at their hands, look down. I find that a little bit odd, and some people might even find it rude. So when you're talking to someone in Canada, it is polite to make eye contact with that person. I want to talk about a couple of gestures that are considered rude in Canada. As with most countries, showing somebody the middle finger or giving them the finger is rude.
Of course.
So if I go like this, that is a very rude symbol in Canada, and you should definitely avoid doing that. Another important gesture that you should do, however, is if you yawn. Maybe you are tired, you can't control yawning. If you yawn, it's very rude.
You gotta cover your mouth. Nobody wanna see all that. Sometimes you can see the saliva. Nobody wanna see your stringy saliva. Ew. You got. I like to do that. I don't do this. I be doing this. Or maybe like, as if I'm about to sneeze. Nobody got time for that. Your mouth wide open. We see saliva, tongue, the cavities on your tooth.
Control yawning. If you yawn, it's very rude. You should cover your mouth when you yawn, and if there's people here, you should also kind of turn away from them.
You don't want to smell your breath.
Yawning towards someone is considered very rude, so please turn away and cover your mouth. Speaking of covering your mouth, if you sneeze, please sneeze into your elbow. Achoo! Also, in Canada, when you sneeze, to be polite, you should say, "Excuse me." Same as if you accidentally fart or burp or cough. After you've done this bodily function, it is polite to say, "Excuse me," or "Oh, sorry, excuse me." If you don't say that, people might consider you a little bit rude. Also, if you are near somebody and they sneeze, it is polite to say, "Bless you." For example, "Achoo! Oh, excuse me. Bless you." Oh, thank you. In terms of gestures connected to table etiquette, it is considered very rude to put your elbows on the table when you are eating dinner or eating any meal. Don't put your elbows on the table. Also, common sense, I think, but when you are eating, don't talk with food in your mouth, and don't chew with your mouth open. Another gesture which can be considered rude is pointing directly at someone. If you point at someone, it can be seen as rude. So if you want to gesture towards someone that way, the best thing to do is gesture like this with your palm up towards the person like this. So, how are you versus how are you? Canadians are known for being polite. Some Canadians consider this a stereotype, but compared to some other places where I've traveled, I do feel that there is a certain level of politeness and common courtesy in Canada. For example, saying please and thank you and sorry is very much appreciated and is often heard more in Canada than it is in other English-speaking countries. One very interesting thing about sorry is if there are two people walking and this person bangs into the other person, they will actually both say sorry. So in Canadian English, what a lot of Canadians do is they use sorry as a way to apologize to someone. But sometimes sorry can also be used as a way of indicating to the other person that they have done something that you want them to apologize for. So when someone bangs into me, I say sorry and they also say sorry. In Canada, People sometimes swear and use offensive language, but they generally do that with close friends or people who are close to them. In Canada, it is considered very rude and a big taboo to swear in front of people who you don't know.
Yeah.
Swearing in front of a stranger, big no. Swearing in front of a child is a huge taboo. Just you don't use offensive language in front of children.
That's very true. Don't use offensive language in front of children. That's why I don't like cursing at all, man. You know, you shouldn't be doing it around the ones you know and love because you should be respecting them. You should be respecting their presence. So don't curse around them. Do not curse around your mom, your dad, your cousin, your brother. Don't curse around your little siblings. Come on now. Strangers, it's all about first impression with me. You think I'm about to be dropping F-bombs near you and everything? First of all, to me, a person that curses a lot has a very little vocabulary. They need to expand their vocabulary and learn some new words. You know, a dictionary. Go into dictionary. Learn something.
Huge taboo. Just you don't use offensive language in front of children.
At all.
In fact, on Canadian TV, on every TV channel, what will happen if there is a swear word is that either the swear word will be censored, it'll be beeped out, or at the beginning of the program, there will actually be a warning. And the warning usually says something like, this program contains coarse language. Viewer discretion is advised. Which basically means there's swearing in this program, so if there's children, now's the time to get them to leave the room or turn off the TV. In Canada.
That reminds me of the old days. That just gave me bad PTSD flashbacks. That just gave me horrible flashbacks from my childhood. I want to sit down on the couch and watch a few shows and movies with my mom, and she'd be, go to your room. What? I'm not even on punishment. Go to your room. She don't even want me watching it.
Children, now's the time to get them to leave the room or turn off the TV. In Canada, it is considered rude to talk loudly on your phone when you are riding public transportation.
Yeah.
I have heard many people do it in Toronto specifically, but in smaller towns, not as much. So generally, if you are riding public transportation, you can text someone or talk quietly. Sorry, I'm on the bus, I have to call you back. That's okay, but yeah, so what are you doing tonight? On a crowded bus with many other passengers, we don't need to hear your conversation, and it is considered rude for you to be speaking loudly in general, and especially rude for you to be speaking loudly on a cell phone in that situation. In Canada, if you eat in a restaurant, there are a couple of things you need to be careful of that can also be seen as taboo. When you have finished your meal and you are getting ready to pay, please remember to leave the server a tip.
That's for all my cheap people out there.
Hey, please remember to leave the server a tip.
Yes.
Tipping is important in Canadian culture to show the waiter or waitress that you enjoyed their service. You don't have to tip if you're just getting like a $2 coffee at Tim Hortons, but when you're actually in a sit-down restaurant and someone has been serving you, please give them a tip. Generally, somewhere between 15 to 20% is considered normal. You should also turn your phone off if you are in a place such as a restaurant,
yes,
or a classroom,
yep,
or a theater. Places like that, people will consider it extraordinarily rude if your cell phone starts ringing and disrupting them from their activities. If someone invites you to their house for dinner, there are 3 really appropriate gifts that you can bring as a gesture to say, thank you for having me for dinner. You could bring flowers, you could bring wine, or you could bring them something like a box of chocolates or something small like that. Those are appropriate gifts, and they're called hostess gifts. So if someone invites you for dinner, please bring something to the dinner with you, something small like that.
Nah, I'm not going to nobody's dinner, so I don't need to do that. I don't care if it's my girlfriend's house. You want to come eat dinner with us? No. I'll eat before I get there. No, absolutely not. No. No, it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Please bring something to the dinner with you.
I just feel weird eating in your house, eating your food.
Flowers and wine are usually the best choices. Speaking of being invited to someone's house, if you are invited to their house for dinner, Then you should show up on time or a little tiny bit late, but no more than 15 minutes late for dinner because that is considered rude. However, if someone invites you to their house for dinner and you show up early, that's also considered rude because maybe the host isn't ready for you yet. Maybe they haven't finished preparing things. However, if you're invited to someone's house for a party, and there's many people coming and it's a more casual, laid-back situation,
fashionably
you
late,
still definitely shouldn't come early. But being a little bit later, even a little bit more than 15 minutes late, is generally considered acceptable.
It is.
If you're going to someone's house for dinner or for a party, if you're going into someone's house for any reason, there's something we do in Canada that most people in other countries do as well, which is to take off your shoes when you enter someone's house. When you visit someone's house, please make sure you take off your shoes before entering.
Is that the wind going crazy in her background? What be going on out there in Canada, man? I knew I wasn't tripping before. I heard the noise. I was like, that wind? I thought it was a sound effect. That's
Please make sure you take off your shoes before entering. If you butt in front of someone in the line, that's very slang, butt in front of someone, meaning to push your way into the line, budge your way in, or jump the queue, as my British friends would say. That is extraordinarily rude. You need to find the end of the line and wait your turn in the line. Follow signs. If a sign tells you to do something, do it. If it says no smoking, don't smoke. If it says give the seat up for elderly or pregnant people, move and give that chair to someone. Don't continue sitting there when there's an elderly man standing.
We shouldn't have any signs hanging up for that. That's just common sense. I feel like all of these are common taboos around the whole world. You know, mistakes that we shouldn't be making in any country because a lot of this is based around common courtesy, man. Respect. What? What? You taking public transportation, you got that elderly man, elderly woman, or pregnant woman standing up on their 2 feet. Have you lost your mind?
And give that chair to someone. Don't continue sitting there when there's an elderly man standing. If a sign says, please keep your dog on a leash, keep your dog on the leash. Please follow the signs, be polite, and you shouldn't have to worry too much about life in Canada and thinking about too many taboos. I think the majority of taboos and things that I talked about for this video that many people really wanted to see, the majority of things that I thought about are taboo in most places around the world.
Yes.
Using common sense and being polite will get you really far during your time here in Canada. And now it's time for Question of the Day. Today's question is, please tell me about some taboos in your country. Let me know about those taboos in the comments below.
I'm going to give you one right now, right off the bat. Look, watch this, right off the dome. Do not interfere with anybody's conversations if they are not talking to you. If they are on the phone or talking to the clerk or a friend in the store or a worker and you decide to just barge in their conversation, you going to get your hand like that in your face. Ain't nobody talking to you. Go about your business. Hey, go about your business. I don't know you. Some people just be feeling like they are free to jump in your conversation. If you don't get out my face, please. Like, they'll be walking past and decide to put their input or I said the same thing to my wife this morning. I don't care what you told your wife this morning. Go on about your day. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today to check out 24 Canadian taboos, or just taboos that we should not be doing in any country around the world. Everybody, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and turn all post notifications on. Feel free to share this video and channel to your friends and family members. Whoever you feel may be interested in joining the family on a daily basis to check out some of these incredible videos. And feel free to flood my comment section and suggestion link in the description down below if you would like to recommend some more of these outstanding videos for me to react to. Once again, thank you so much, my lovely supporters, for joining me today and for just choosing me to watch. The support truly means a lot, and there is a million other creators you could watch, but you chose to watch me. So thank you so much. Everyone stay safe, and I will catch you all in the next reaction video.